Welcome to Episode 2 in the Accident Theory series. In our earlier discussion, we established that accident theory involves connecting various factors to create a logical explanation of events. While this series focuses on accident theory, it's important to note that most health and safety professionals prefer using the term incident instead of accident. A near-miss incident is one where no injury occurs, but some form of loss is still present. Loss can include anything that leads to injury, damage to equipment, or a reduction in productivity. In today's episode, we will look at what makes an accident an incident. We will also look at different types of events and answer the question of whether incidents are random. When studying accident theory, or any subject, it is essential to familiarize yourself with the specific terminology and common definitions that underpin the material. These terms serve as the foundation for understanding and communicating key concepts effectively. In accident theory, grasping the meaning of core terminology is particularly important because it ensures clarity and consistency in discussions, analyses, and applications. However, it is equally critical to recognize that some terms can be misused or misinterpreted to represent concepts they were not intended to describe. Misusing terminology can lead to confusion, flawed analyses, and ineffective solutions. Therefore, a thorough understanding of the correct usage and implications of these terms is vital to accurately apply accident theory and ensure meaningful discussions in the field of health and safety. Think of a time you were reading a document and you misunderstood a definition or explanation. How did that misunderstanding affect your result or process? Share your reflection in this episode's group chat or in the comment section if you are following on social media. When deciding whether to use the term accident or incident, it is important to consider what constitutes a chain of events that can justifiably be labeled as an accident. Is there ever a definitive situation where the word accident can be used without question instead of the more general term incident? According to the literal definition, accident, literally a befalling, an event that takes place without one's foresight or expectation, an undesigned, sudden, and unexpected event, chance, contingency, often an undesigned and unforeseen occurrence of an afflictive or unfortunate character, a casualty, a mishap, as to die by an accident. Based on this definition, a wide variety of events could be classified as accidents because they occur unexpectedly and without prior foresight. In everyday usage, a series of events resulting in property damage or injury is often referred to as an accident. Conversely, a similar series of events leading to a positive outcome is typically described as good luck. This contrast in labeling highlights the ambiguity of the term. Additionally, as the term accident is being phased out in professional contexts in favor of incident for greater accuracy, some people may even use the term injury interchangeably with accident to describe harmful outcomes. However, in common speech, the word accident is still widely used across different social groups, despite the lack of a universal agreement or consensus about its exact meaning. Whether a dog goes to the washroom on the floor, someone falls off of a ladder, or a vehicle crashes into the side of a bus, all these examples are called accidents. This inconsistency underscores the need for clearer definitions, especially in professional contexts like occupational health and safety, where precise language is critical for effective communication and analysis. The word accident is commonly used in everyday language to describe events or outcomes that occur unintentionally rather than because of deliberate planning. For example, someone might accidentally run into an old friend or experience an accidental pregnancy, both situations that happened without conscious intent. At its core, the defining characteristic of an accident is that the event occurred without intention. This lack of intentionality is one of the main reasons occupational health and safety professionals often avoid using the term accident in professional settings. When the word accident is used in a professional context, it typically aligns with one of two definitions. Accident, mishap. This refers to an unplanned or unfortunate event that leads to damage, injury, or disruption. For example, a worker on a construction site might drop a heavy tool from a scaffold, which accidentally strikes a piece of equipment below, causing damage. While the event was unintentional, it directly resulted in property damage and disrupted the workflow. Accident, chance. This refers to an event that occurs without planning, apparent cause, or deliberate intent. For instance, while walking through a park, someone might unexpectedly encounter a strong gust of wind that knocks over a large tree branch, which narrowly misses nearby pedestrians. This event happened by chance, with no intentional action or clear cause, leading to the branch falling at that exact moment. For instance, in the context of a workplace incident or a playground injury, the term accident is used in the sense of a mishap. On the other hand, in a legal setting, a death that is not classified as homicide or suicide might be labeled as an accident, emphasizing the element of chance. Health and safety professionals investigate events regardless of whether they appear intentional or unintentional. For example, if a worker is fatally poisoned, the initial investigation must consider multiple possibilities. The poisoning could be the result of malicious intent, such as sabotage or harm caused by an intruder, or it could be due to an unintentional mechanical failure in a device designed to prevent injury or illness. Alternatively, it might result from human error, such as a mistake made by another worker. The ambiguity of the word accident complicates its use in professional settings, as it may imply an absence of control or responsibility. This is why many professionals prefer the term incident, which avoids assumptions about intent and focuses on analyzing the chain of events and contributing factors. By investigating the root cause, health and safety professionals aim to determine whether an event could have been prevented and to implement measures that reduce the likelihood of recurrence. If we take a step back from the debate between using the word accident or incident, and we treat everything that happens as an event, we can break events down into three simple categories. There are unexpected or unplanned events, undesirable and unfortunate events, as well as unforeseen events. Let's take a look at each one of these event types and how they fit into our study of accident theory. In the workplace, we generally assume that incidents occur unexpectedly and are not intentionally planned. For instance, it would be deeply unsettling to learn that a pool of slippery oil had been deliberately left on the floor with the intent of causing a worker to slip and fall. While it is unlikely that most incidents result from malicious intent, such behavior cannot be entirely ruled out during the initial stages of an investigation. This is why it is critical to examine all possibilities, including the potential for deliberate actions. It is equally important to distinguish between intent and consequence. Although an individual's actions may contribute to an adverse outcome, they may not have intended for that specific outcome to occur. For example, a worker might unintentionally spill oil on the floor and fail to clean it up, leading to a slip and fall incident. In this case, the worker's negligence in addressing the hazard contributed to the outcome, but there was no malicious intent to cause harm. Understanding the role of intentionality is crucial for uncovering the full context of an incident. It allows investigators to assess whether the event was a result of deliberate harm, negligence, or an unintentional chain of events. This nuanced approach ensures that all potential causes, both intentional and unintentional, are thoroughly examined, enabling organizations to implement effective measures to prevent similar incidents in the future. When an incident occurs, it is generally understood to be an unwelcome and negative event, often catching people off guard and disrupting normal operations. An unplanned or unexpected incident typically has adverse effects, leading to some form of unhappiness, disruption, or unrest among those involved. The phrase "a happy accident" reflects the common understanding that most true accidents have unhappy outcomes, results that people would prefer to avoid entirely, as they often involve harm, damage, or loss. Consequently, the primary goal of investigating an incident is not only to identify its immediate causes, but also to understand the underlying factors that contributed to it. By doing so, organizations can implement corrective measures to prevent a recurrence of the same or a similar event, ultimately fostering a safer and more stable environment for everyone involved. When an incident is unforeseen, it does not necessarily mean it was unforeseeable. The distinction lies in the fact that unforeseen incidents occur without prior notice or expectation, but many such events are known to be possible and in some cases even predictable. What is unforeseen is often the specific timing or circumstances of the incident, rather than the possibility of its occurrence. For example, certain hazards in the workplace, such as exposed wires or a slippery floor, are recognized risks with a likelihood of causing harm if left unaddressed. The common expression, "an accident waiting to happen," illustrates this concept, as it acknowledges the foreseeability of an incident based on the presence of identifiable risk factors. Such risks might be apparent to those who are trained to recognize them or who have experience in assessing similar situations. However, the foreseeability of an incident does not guarantee that everyone will recognize the potential danger. An incident may be foreseen by some, such as supervisors or safety inspectors, but remain unnoticed by the individual who ultimately becomes involved in it. This highlights the importance of proactive measures, such as hazard identification, effective communication, and proper training, to ensure that foreseeable risks are recognized and mitigated before they lead to unforeseen incidents. When investigating an incident, it may initially appear as though a series of events randomly unfolded, resulting in a negative outcome. These events might have been unforeseen by the individual involved, often due to a lack of awareness or information about the potential risks. In some cases, reduced capacity, such as being intoxicated, fatigued, or suffering from conditions like dementia, can impair a person's ability to foresee or respond to hazards. While the incident may seem random, it is important to recognize that randomness pertains to timing and probability, not possibility. When an event is described as random, it simply means that the exact time of occurrence could not have been predicted with absolute certainty. However, randomness does not negate the likelihood of an incident taking place when certain risk factors are present. In many cases, randomness is used to describe incidents that occur without direct human involvement and seem to result purely from chance. Some professionals might apply the term accident in these situations, believing that accidents are inevitable and, therefore, intervention is unnecessary. This perspective, however, overlooks the critical reality that incidents, whether termed accidents or not, are the product of a sequence of identifiable and often preventable events. While the exact timing of an incident cannot always be predicted, the presence of certain hazards or risk factors makes it statistically probable that an incident will eventually occur. Moreover, some people or machines are inherently more prone to contributing to incidents due to higher probabilities of error, failure, or malfunction. In such cases, it would not be accurate to consider the incident purely random, as it is the result of elevated risk factors that were present and went unaddressed. An example of this is the probability of the CN Tower in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, being struck more often by lightning due to the height of the structure. The height of the building elevates the risk of lightning strikes. This highlights the responsibility of health and safety professionals to identify risk factors and take proactive steps to reduce or eliminate the likelihood of an incident occurring. One of the challenges in workplace safety is the false sense of security that can develop when hazards exist for a long time without an incident taking place. Workers may become increasingly confident that nothing will go wrong, leading to complacency and a lack of urgency in addressing risks. A health and safety professional's role is to recognize the inevitability of incidents when hazards are left unresolved, and to implement measures that reduce or eliminate the chance of harm. By addressing hazards early, they help break the chain of events that could lead to an incident, ensuring a safer workplace for everyone. If a person is struck by lightning while walking in a field during a thunderstorm, and the person is one of the tallest objects in the field, is the event still considered random? Share your opinion this episode's group chat or in the comment section if you are following on social media. Understanding accident theory requires familiarity with key terminology to ensure clarity and consistency in discussions and analyses. The distinction between accident and incident is critical, as the former often implies a lack of control or responsibility, whereas the latter focuses on the sequence of events leading to an outcome. Investigation of all incidents, whether intentional or unintentional, are important to determine causes and implement preventive measures. While incidents may seem unforeseen, they are often predictable based on known risk factors, and a false sense of security can develop when hazards persist without immediate consequences. Randomness relates to timing and probability, not the possibility of an occurrence, emphasizing the importance of proactive hazard identification. Professionals play a key role in preventing incidents by addressing hazards early, ensuring safer workplaces, and fostering a culture of risk awareness and accountability. COHSI provides its students with a multiple-choice quiz at the end of each episode, which can be used as practice material for the content that has been covered. A free version of the quiz can be accessed by anyone following our content on social media by using the QR code shown on the screen. If you are a COHSI student, please complete the discussion board topics found throughout this unit, as well as the episode quiz. Both of these tasks can be found under their appropriate tabs in your learning portal. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to your course instructor. Thank you for watching and have a safe day.